Welcome to the channel, everyone. Well, working on this 80 Chevy Silverado chassis. Getting pretty excited because we're getting close to being able to put some wheels on this thing, drop it down and call it a rolling chassis, a completed rolling chassis. I got a bunch of little things to do today. I've got steering parts painted, got a steering stabilizer that I can put on after my steering goes on. I got my sway bar stuff painted, but not sure I'm going to be able to get that on today or not. But yeah, just a bunch of little things to try to get done, so I'm going to get to it. Okay, here's my sleeve. I'm actually I'm going to take a little anti-seize on the threads here. Just so they don't seize up on me. Got my, well, first you got to take one of the things because you can't get that on after. Then you got to thread it on. And you got to figure out which way this goes, because you got to figure out which way it threads on, because it's opposite. Each side's opposite. It's opposite of each other because when you adjust it, you turn it one way and it opens it up or lengthens it or shortens it. So that's why. Okay, so I got it all together. I got these bolts over the slot, if you can see that, and I'm going to just snug these down so they're not flopping all over the place. And then we'll I got to get my boots. Got to get my boots over the rod ends, and we should be ready to put this up in there. Okay, so I got my rod all put together. You got to pay attention to which side is which. This side has the spot for my steering stabilizer, factory steering stabilizer. So this goes on this side. I think there's actually 3 different designs for this steering. And then another thing you want to pay attention to is your taper. Your knuckle is tapered. On this truck, the taper is it's tapered from the bottom up. On the 70, it's the other way around. But if you remember, when I took this thing apart, it was installed like this. So that's what I'm going to do. I got my castle nuts all ready. Just got to you can see there the boot's on. Castle nut. When I tighten this down and torque it, I'll be able to put a cotter pin in there, lock it down. There's my spot for the factory steering stabilizer. It's going to go to that bracket there. Down here, there's the adjuster sleeve, and then onto this knuckle, same exact way. This one's a little crooked, but when I cinch it up, it'll lock in there. Okay, so a few more tips on this sleeve here. You want equal amount of threads sticking out here as here. I think they say they don't want no more than 3 threads off on this adjuster. And then another thing is, you would think that they would want these clamps centered over this slot right here, so they squeeze the slot together. They don't. They want it off-centered, more like this. I really don't know why that is, but that's what the book is telling me. So off-center your sleeves there, I guess, and make sure you got the same amount of threads showing on each side. So I'll probably end up doing my redneck lineup job on this, and I'll have to loosen. I'm going to tighten them up right now, but I'll have to loosen this up, and then I'll spin this to either tighten, or I spin this to either lengthen or shorten this rod. So I'm going to get the torque wrench out. I'll torque these so I can be done with this. Okay, so I'm going to torque these nuts right here. These are 45 foot-pounds. The sleeve nuts are 35 foot-pounds. I'm not going to torque them yet because, again, I don't have this thing aligned, and I'm probably going to do my own little redneck alignment anyway. I turn my torque wrench on. It won't work unless it's turned on. And that's it. I'm going to put my cotter pin in. Well, this one probably won't make it, but you got to stick your cotter pin in. Never loosen these up to do that. If you got to make room, you got to tighten them. You got to tighten them. So I think I got to tighten that one a little bit. I think I can get her now. Alright, so I got my cotter pin in there. I'll fold it over here in a second. Also, I installed my grease certs in the bottom there. So that's ready. So yeah, this is pretty much ready to go. Now the steering. We got to go to the steering stabilizer next. Okay, so next up is the steering stabilizer. I went to Skyjacker and got this heavy duty OEM stabilizer. I've got this for a couple of reasons. One, it was silver or gray, which is what all my other accessories or accents are. It has all the studs and bolts and nuts and everything you need to install this. So you don't have to use any old studs or find anything. It's all here. I don't like the fact that they sent me red bushings. I don't like that. It should have been black, but anyway, you got to put the bushings into the shocks here. A little bit of lube in there. Pound them in there. Then you've got some studs. And some of these, I think, have, yeah, this one here has a tapered deal, and this tapered one is going to go on the factory tie rod end right here, because that hole is tapered just like your ball joints and stuff. So I'm going to get all this stuff installed here. It's pretty easy, guys. There's another mount right here, and there's another stud in the kit. This one here, it's not tapered or anything, it's just straight. So it's pretty straightforward. I'm not going to show any of this. This is just standard nut and bolt stuff, guys. So I'm gonna get this installed and we'll take a look at what it looks like in the end. Okay, so there it is, installed. Got the boot on, got the sticker on. Make sure you clean it up before you put your sticker on or it won't stick. Got this all tightened down. So it looks good. Then once you get everything tight, guys, cycle it, make sure everything works. I know the boot almost seems like it's too big. It's kind of getting bound up when I turn all the way that way, but it's just a boot, I guess. A tool like this will help you install that boot. This is like a radiator. You get underneath your hose and pry the radiator hose off your radiator, but that really helps with getting that boot slid on the thicker part. I've got my pitman arm. This is actually a drop pitman arm from Skyjacker also. This was recommended when I bought this, the 2.5-inch lift. That part was recommended. It says it's for a 4-inch lift, but like I said, it was recommended to use on this lift. So that's what I have. Factory steering arm. I got to get new bolts because you're not supposed to use these new nuts. You're not supposed to reuse nuts once you take them off. So I'm looking for them. I can't connect this anyway because then I won't be able to move. I won't be able to steer this thing, this chassis. If I hook it up, it's just going to spit fluid out and make a mess. So I can't hook this up, but I'm just going to use a factory link anyway. So that's no big deal. But otherwise, steering's complete. I gotta grease everything. I think I'm gonna grease those ball joints a little more while I'm at it. But yeah, steering is complete. Okay, so I got a new fuel tank here. This is actually Spectra, I believe is what their name is. It's a fuel tank for the short bed, because obviously I got a short bed frame here. Yeah, it looks like a nice tank. Says it's made in Canada. So yeah, it's just a good idea to get a new tank, guys. These old trucks, if it's not rotted on the outside, it's probably pretty for sure just full of crud. So it's just a good idea to start out fresh. They're not that much. And then I got brand new tank brackets. I've actually had these for 20 plus years. They've been in the basement. I actually thought I was gonna have to sandblast and clean these all up, but you can see they look brand new yet. I thought these were genuine GM parts, but the stickers aren't. I don't know what it says on the stickers. They didn't come with nuts. The OEM brackets usually have nuts here, and then you just go in from the inside and bolt them on. I see these don't, so maybe they're not GM. I thought they were. But one thing you'll notice if you've been following this project, I got these on the driver's side. This truck actually came with a passenger side tank and brackets. But I like the idea of having the fill on the driver's side. I think most American cars have the fill on the driver's side. So that's what I want to do. I got to get new stuff anyway. So, and like I said, I had these brackets. I have brackets for the passenger side if I wanted to do like dual tanks. I think that's just a hassle. It just makes everything complicated, then you got to get a selector valve and stuff like that. So I think just one tank is fine. Much more simple. Probably could sell that other set of brackets, get some money back. But yeah, I just got these bolted in. I used grade 8 zinc plated bolts, just like I've done on just about everything on the truck here. So I actually just got them bolted down. I'm gonna make some rubber strips. They call them anti-squeak strips. I'm gonna make some. I've got some roofing, rubber roofing, RV rubber roofing. I got a bunch of that left over, so I'm just gonna make my own strips. And then we're gonna get the tank bolted in. So I gotta find my rubber, make some strips, and we'll get this thing bolted on. Okay, so I got a couple strips right here and there. I'm gonna put my tank on. Then I'll figure out maybe some smaller strips for the straps. Okay, so I got 2 more strips made. Like I said, this is just rubber roof from my camper left over. Gonna put the straps into the holes here. Okay, so I'm going to tighten these strap bolts up, or strap nuts. There's actually holes in the frame on the inside so you can get to them nuts. Okay, so there it is, cinched down. Now there's a hole back here big enough to get a socket on it, but the other side there's a hole, but it's not big enough to run a socket through there, so I actually had to use an open end wrench to tighten that one up. So that was kind of odd, I thought. But I thought there was a hole big enough to put a socket on there, but there ain't. Anyway, it's on there. She's tight. I don't think there's a torque rating on those bolts. Just snug them down. And yeah, I've got to get a sender. Got to get that, a new one. But I know about where my fuel lines have to go now, so I can probably figure out those. Okay, so next I'm going to do my front sway bar. This is the factory sway bar. And what I chose to do there was I got this Prothane bushing kit. Now this is for it says 73 to 80 inch and a quarter. So you do have to measure your sway bar to get the right kit. But this kit here, it uses the factory brackets. and stuff like that. And there is no greasable bracket on this kit. It's a little more affordable kit. I had nice brackets, so I figured I'd save some money and get this kit. But you can get one with, I believe these brackets here come with the kit and they're greasable. But I think I'll be all right. Okay guys, so let's get this bushings in here. These are the bushings for the factory brackets, the front bushings. We got to wait on those, but here are the bushings that I got to stick in right here. Then you got a sleeve right here. And then you've got some, they send some grease. You always want to grease up poly bushings. Or they're going to squeak on you. This grease that they give you is like, it's like super sticky stuff. If you ever used this polyurethane grease, it is like sticky, hard to even get off your hands once you get it on there. But there's no other way to do it but just to get in there, get dirty, and do it. Probably gonna need a hammer to get that the rest of the way. Okay, so this side wasn't cooperating. I had to get my ball joint press. I'm actually just screwing it in by hand. It's not that tight. I just couldn't get it in there. It was popping out. The casting of that sway bar is just, I don't know, it's a little narrower than the other side, but it's sliding right in. So I'm gonna get this in, then I'll get it up in the truck and we'll work on the other bushings. Okay, so I got the sway bar in place, and I didn't film that because it was a real struggle. I knew it was going to be a struggle, one person. I actually, because of that weird, the bushing on this side over here, I had to put that one in first because it's kind of crooked. So I had to put that bolt in first, then I had to put this bolt in, and now it's ready to go. These brackets or these bushings. So I'm going to go up here, I'm going to find out where it goes. I'm going to grease the inside of it with that grease. I'll get both of these in place. And then hopefully I've got my brackets. Got my brackets all sandblasted and painted. Well, it looks like they sent me the wrong bushings in the kit, because you can see this bushing has a weird kind of groove thing, and I don't know why, because I got the factory. This is supposed to work in the factory brackets. This looks like it works with their bracket, the other kit. So I'm pretty annoyed right now because I'm ready to install this and be done with it, and I got parts that don't fit. So I better turn the camera off before I say something that I shouldn't. Okay, so after modifying the crap out of these bushings, basically took a razor blade and cut that ridge off because it wasn't it wasn't gonna fit inside here without cutting that ridge off. So it's a little long on this end here. Hopefully it's gonna work out. But anyway, I'm gonna find out where I need my bushing. I put the lube. I got the grease in there. I got some grade 8 zinc plated bolts, just like I've done on everything on the truck. Like I said, hopefully it's gonna work out here. I'm not sure it is. Oh, maybe it will. This side's tighter. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to put a few washers. I'm gonna have to put a few washers, I think, to kind of create a space. Because that's really crushing that bushing. I wish I would have had the right bushing to begin with, but it is what it is. Okay, sway bar is in, and I'm just gonna show you here. I got 4 washers in between the mount there. I didn't want to crush. Hard to see on this side, maybe it's better on this side. Yeah, I didn't want to crush this really bad. But if I would have put this all the way down to the frame, it would have crushed this bushing really bad. So I didn't want to do that. So I run the spacers. I think we're going to be okay. That's a poly mount. Those are pretty tough. But I got my bolts. I gotta tighten them yet. And this one here with my custom axle truss, you can see perfect amount of clearance. probably should have had a little more clearance there because it's pretty tight, but it's gonna clear. So yeah, that's one more thing checked off the install list. So sway bar is installed, guys. I know I get irritated when brand new parts don't fit and I gotta modify stuff. I get irritated. I don't know why. I shouldn't be surprised anymore because you've got to modify so much stuff these days. It's something else. Anyway, it's installed. I'm happy with it. It's installed for good, I hope. I won't change those bushings. I'll probably never change those bushings. But anyway, guys, that ends another video. and we're getting close. I can see it in my mind, a rolling chassis. I've been working like heck trying to get it to happen in real life here. Really the only thing we're lacking now is brake lines and fuel lines. I think I can do the fuel lines. The brake lines are going to be a little bit different because the proportioning valve on these used to go right here behind this cross member. Well, with this brace here and stuff, and with going four-wheel disc, the proportioning valve is probably going to be on the master cylinder. So I probably got to wait for the cab to go on to run those lines. So that's probably not going to happen before this thing gets wheels and tires on it. But I can probably do the fuel line. But yeah, it's getting close, real close, guys. You've probably seen these boxes over here. Yep, those are the wheels. I got to show you them yet. That might be the next video. I might break those out and show you them. And then hopefully we'll get some tires, and then we'll get them on the frame here. We'll get this thing rolling again. That's going to be a big achievement. But guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'll see you.